Welcome to the Real Estate Pros Show, where we interview real estate investing professionals from coast to coast, as well as the service providers that serve the real estate investing industry. Our goal is simple: share what's working now to help you improve and scale your business to the next level and meet the pros that can help you get there. Real Estate Pros is powered by Investor Fuel, America's leader in helping real estate investors and professionals build the business you need to live the life you've always dreamed of. Let's start today's show. Property insurance for real estate investors doesn't have to be difficult, but it does need to be there to protect you when you need it. MyInvestorInsurance.com not only provides insurance at 15 to 30% cheaper than traditional agencies, it's built specifically for real estate investors like you. You can set up an account in about 2 minutes, get quotes on properties, turn on and turn off insurance for your fix and flip or rental properties in around 2 minutes without having to talk to anyone directly, all through our portal. There's no better way or faster way to make sure you've got the coverage you need to protect you, and no more lengthy policies either. Once you're set up, you're billed monthly and prorated by the day for however long your policy is active. It's powered by MSI, the third largest independent MGA, with 1.5 million customers and more than $1 billion in cumulative premiums written. Get set up today in about 2 minutes at myinvestorinsurance.com/fuel.
All right. Hey, guys. Welcome back to our show. I'm your host, John Harcar, and I'm here today with Jessica Elgin. And what we're going to talk about, besides her extensive and great knowledge in business and real estate, we're going to talk about resort residences and investing in that asset. Something I'm not that familiar with. I'm super excited to learn about it. Remember, guys, at Investor Fuel, we help real estate investors, service providers, all real estate entrepreneurs 2 to 5x your business. We do it by providing the tools to grow the business that you want to have, which help in turn live the life that you've always dreamed of. Jessica, welcome to our show.
Thank you. I'm really excited to be here today.
Yeah, and I'm super excited to learn about this. This honestly is not an asset class that I've had much experience or exposure to.
But it's interesting, John. Not many people have.
I really haven't. I mean, when I heard resort residences, I think timeshare.
Yeah,
that's what I think of. Before we get in the weeds of all that, why don't you give our audience a little background on you, kind of your journey in real estate and business, and what brought you to today?
Absolutely. So I'm a Midwest girl. Grew up in the Midwest and went to the West Coast early, right out of college. I have a physics degree and I love research. Wow. So that's what lights me up. That's what gets me to tick. You can't see it right now, but behind me I have 27 graphs, and that's just my happy place. So I love that. I'm a total geek. But the other thing that I like is this. I love bringing it to people and showing them how they can utilize that information to better increase their portfolio. So I get calls from people all over the country asking, what do? I hear I need to talk to you before I make a move. Tell me about the different asset classes. And my biggest thing is that I do a lot of research on the markets. So figuring out what cycles are happening right now and what's going to be most advantageous. And no two investors are the same. So That's really been my journey. I've been a real estate agent for 25 years, an investor for going on 30 years. And I love both of them. I would say I'm an investor first, though.
Sweet.
And realtor second.
Awesome. If you've ever watched any of my podcasts, you know I like to go backwards because I think there's always good knowledge in the journey. Yeah. So let's go way back. Did you have anybody in your family, friends, sphere of influence, anybody that was in real estate, that was a realtor, that flipped homes? Like, so when you're growing up, who planted that seed, or where did that come from?
It's interesting. So I actually come from a very blue collar family. Grew up very, very poor. So I wouldn't even say, middle class. I would say poor. Okay. So I had a different view of the world, right? When I went to school, I was very, very fortunate to be able to go to college. I have a mother who's amazing. And she said, Jessica, she goes, when you go to college, just study what you like. Don't worry about what it is. All people care about is that you get a degree. Just finish. Your first 2 years, go play, go live life, and do what you want. And then the next 2 years, figure out what you're going to do.
Stop living on an island and join the #1 mastermind in America for professional real estate investors. Investor Fuel is a community of hundreds of the nation's top investors working together to build stronger businesses and better lives. In addition to the amazing community of real estate investors acting as a board of advisors for one another, Investor Fuel members have access to 100% funding on purchase and repairs for our members only, a health insurance program, and benefits and discounts that more than pays for the membership of most of our members, meaning it's actually costing you money to not be a member of Investor Fuel. If you're looking to scale your business and build a business that allows you to live the life of your dreams, please visit investorfuel.com today and book a call with our team.
So my junior year, I went into my counselor and I said, well, I don't know what I'm going to do for my major. And he goes, okay. He goes, do you have any ideas? And I said, He goes, well, what do you think? I said, what's the closest thing I have to a degree? And he said, physics. And I said, I'm getting a physics degree. So that was that.
Jeez.
I did my internship with NASA. It was a very hard studier. I think most people that grow up with nothing embrace every opportunity, right?
Yeah.
Fully. So I worked my tail off. I did get to do an internship with NASA. I came back and hated it. And it was weeks before graduation. And I said to my family, I said, I don't know what I'm doing, but I am not working for NASA. And they're like, no, keep in mind where I come from.
Right, yeah, sure. NASA is like, oh, I mean, yeah.
4 years studying, and they're like, what are you going to do? This is crazy. I said, I don't know, but I'm not doing sales. Everyone I knew was in sales. Mm-hmm. Well, 30 years later, here I am. All I've ever done is sales.
The sales.
I started with a Fortune 500 company, did very, very well there. And about 3 years in, I sold my house. I bought a home when I was pretty young. I sold that first home. I made $30,000. This is right around 2000. Mm-hmm. And I thought, this is ridiculous. I did this on accident. If I could do this on accident, if I just studied a little bit, I have a physics degree. I'm just going to do some research.
Right. You can figure that out.
Oh my gosh. So I quit my 6-figure income job. This is in 2020. I was making over 6 figures in my early 20s. So everyone thought I was insane.
Yeah.
And I started investing. Robert Kiyosaki was a big influencer on me. And I loved it. The E-Myth Revisited was another huge
incredible book.
Oh my gosh. And so I just was like, you know what? And my grandfather and my mother both had told me, people are just people. You want to do something, they're just people that do it. So you want to be an astronaut? That's just a person. You just choose to do it. So what do you want to do? And so as I was reading that, I really saw the opportunity. And I jumped in both feet. The first year I made over $300,000. People didn't think I was so crazy. Started teaching courses. Yeah.
When they see that cash coming in, they're like, yeah, maybe she wasn't crazy.
Maybe that's not so crazy.
Yeah.
So I started teaching investing courses, and it was people asking me if I would help them do what I was doing. And I said, absolutely. And I just got to the point where, and I don't do anything halfway. So I had an 8-hour course with a book that I created. And I just decided it was more than I wanted to do. So I put a ridiculous price on it. Sold enough classes, had enough people referring in that I ended up having to do it out of First American Title Company. So
wow.
It was crazy.
That's
it was
awesome.
crazy. But from that, I learned so much. And I think that's where my passion for the markets really, and the trends, because everything has its day in the sun, right? So it's figuring out when is their day in the sun and how can I take advantage of that? And when do I get in and when do I get out?
Yeah.
And it's all, when you start tracking it, it's so black and white that it mitigates all risk. So I call myself a low risk, high risk investor. I like high risk investments, but I mitigate the risk with research and with figuring out different things. So I have key indicators that I look for, right?
Okay.
And
what are those?
If I'm looking for a boom town, I'm really good at hitting boom towns. If I'm looking for that, I look for 5 years of the MLS, because remember, there's different markets. You have your financial market and your housing market. So I only want MLS data. I want to know that home sales increased by 10 to 12% for 5 years.
If you're looking for consistent, high-quality leads, look no further than Investor Machine. Investor Machine isn't just another agency. It's the most sophisticated, data-driven lead generation company on the planet for real estate investors, and serves the role of being not just a lead generator for your business, but a marketing partner that is helping you achieve your goals along the way. Go to investormachine.com to learn more and schedule a call with our team today.
Over that, I'm probably going to bust. Under that, and it's not going to quite hit, but I need 5 good steady years. So if I can get somewhere between that 10 and 12%. The next thing I need to know is collaboration. I'm not the only geek out there, right? So I look for developers that are doing the same thing. They have their own KPI, which have nothing to do with mine, which I love, right? So I need to make sure that they're collaborating, that they're also seeing the same thing that I'm seeing. So I watch for, are they getting permits? Are they getting their, things approved? And more importantly than that, is the city and state going to comply? Because you can have all the right factors, but if the city, if the government,
they can poo-poo it,
you're done. So I need to see that as well. So those are my 3 things. I need city and state in there. I need the 10 to 12%, and I need collaboration from other people that do the same things that I do. So we watch for that. The others are intangible, John. Since I was young, and I think it's because of how much research I've done, it's like a water stick, back in the days. I can stand on a property and tell you if it's going to hit. I don't always know why. I just know. And I'll be like, this one's going to do it. And the one across the street, no, doesn't have it. And I don't know. It's an intangible. The only thing I can figure out is that when I see things, I don't see pretty pictures like other people. I see numbers going, right? Like even investment homes. So if I'm looking at a fix and flip, the same thing, I'm going to go in and I'm like, there's 10,000 there, there's 2,000 there, there's 4,000 there. I can rent it for this. And all these numbers are going super fast. I don't see the mold and all that kind of stuff, right? Like, or the numbers. That's it. So it's the same type of thing with developments in different areas. I just kind of know. But I have to have before I'll even look.
It's your experience, right? You feel it in your bones, right? You know. Now, let me ask you this. As you got into the real estate piece, right? And I know that, from other analytical folks that I've talked to or known, right? They're fantastic at the analytics, but they're not so great on the relationship rapport, building, seller talking. How did you have any issues with that? And if you did, how did you overcome those?
I'm so grateful that you asked that. Very few people do. My father was a programmer, very, very high, very white personality, if you know the color codes, right?
Yeah.
Very white, extremely, like your quintessential computer programmer, right? No personal interaction. My mom was your yellow. So partier out there all the time. So
little busy bee.
Busy bee. So if you profile me with the DISC profile, I am high DI and 0 S&C. So I have no detail orientation, which is super funny because that's my happy place, right?
Well, about to say, aren't you like this analytical geek as you called yourself? Wow.
And when you look at like the definition of are you an introvert or extrovert? Because people are like, oh, it's just natural for you. No, it's not. No, not at all.
Yeah.
I am very much an introvert. It wears me out to be at events. But if you watch me, you think that I am the biggest extrovert ever because I butterfly. I actually attribute that to the Fortune 500 company that I worked for. Right out of college. So I started with them in corporate sales, and they sent us to training 6 weeks every year. And during that time, it was intense, like 7 a.m. to 11 p.m. You're leaning in too much. You're smiling too much. You need to change the conversation to this. This is too happy. This is too sad.
Right.
It was intense, but it really, having had my mom as my background, right? who raised me and being trained in it, I was able to connect the two dots.
If you're a new or newer real estate investor looking to launch or grow your real estate investing business, please check out Investor Fuel Club. It's a coaching community, but unlike anything you've ever seen before. And you can actually partner with members of our mastermind from coast to coast on deals right in your market. There's no better opportunity to build a consistent business than to literally partner with pros to help you avoid costly mistakes, avoid the need for capital to do deals, and help you eliminate your fears as you're starting your business. Learn more about Investor Fuel Club at investorfuel.com/club.
Yeah.
So I'm able to do it very well. I think the other thing, I am a true physicist. I identify a problem, find a solution, right? So for me, I am not motivated by money, which has been hard for every manager I've ever had.
Yeah.
I'm motivated by the puzzle. Give me a puzzle. Let me figure it out. That's
You're motivated by solving the problems. Yeah.
Yeah. If
That's
you give
awesome.
me someone's portfolio, I'll look at it and I'll go, da, 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 and I'll go through everything. And then I'm like, you could also, da, da, da. Now which one's better?
Right. Yeah. No.
And it's funny. One of the things that the Fortune 500 company taught me was you've got a tool chest. And inside of that tool chest, you have a lot of tools that the company provides, that we provide, right? And you can make financial gain on, but you have a lot more tools that you never make any financial gain from. And you have to be willing to use both tools because all of that comes back around.
Yep.
So for me, it's really about the person.
Yep.
You know, what is it that they need? And I think also my childhood has helped me when they talk about what's important to me is leaving a legacy for my children, or what's important to me is building the next whatever. I actually get that.
Yeah.
Right? Like I get that because my parents built an amazing legacy for me. Blue collar, the skills they gave me, I could never be where I am without them. You know?
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So let's talk a little bit about the resort residences. And, once again, like I said earlier, first thing that came to my mind was timeshares, and why the heck would anybody want to do timeshares? So describe us, tell us a little bit about the difference.
Okay. So I'm going to go back a little bit. So I mentioned earlier that everything has its day in the sun. And what happened is we've been through the foreclosures, right? That was back in the early 2000s. Then we went through fix and flips. Then we went through vacation rentals. Do you remember when those were big? So, and a lot of people still believe they are. However, if you look at the data, revenues started declining with vacation rentals about 5 to 6 years ago. And most things, by the way, when they have their day in the sun, it lasts about 10 years. So somewhere between 5 and 10. 10, most people don't even realize that you're starting to fizzle out. And then there's another 5 that hold on, not realizing, right?
Right.
But as the revenues started going, obviously, when and this is where the commercial side comes in, right? Your value of the home goes down. It doesn't increase in value because you're not making the same revenues. So it's gonna start tanking. Well, that started happening. Now, there's an important thing to know about data. Data starts with your analysts. That the analysts then send it to geeks like myself, who we get to know all the analysts because we want to hear all this information, right? And
you want to geek out.
We do. We then start disseminating that to realtors. Realtors then disseminate it to the end user. By the time that it finally gets to the end user, it now is getting to the media. So if you're waiting on the media for your information, you're 5 generations old, right? Like you're already past, it's done. So about 2 years ago, the hospitality industry has a magazine and they put out and they said, revenues are declining in the vacation rentals. No joke. They have been, but they finally got the information, right? So as that was happening, I, of course, investor first, am looking at my own portfolio and going, crap, now what do I invest in? And I'm in Southern Utah. We don't have much else. I'm like, where am I going to, what am I going to do? Well, I was very lucky. There was a resort coming in that had residences, and that was in Desert Color. It's called Atara. And I got to know what it was. And I went down and I felt it. And I go, this is it. So I called all of my people and I said, we got to jump. This is the next product that's out there. So I got 5 contracts in, more than any other realtor in town had sold there.
Awesome.
I then did a dinner with a bunch of my high-end investors. And when I was doing it, the marketing gal from Atara called me and said, hey, the developer's going to be in town. Would you like him to speak? And I said, absolutely. I'd love it. So,
Yeah.
like, are you kidding me? More information from the source.
Right.
So he came down, did the presentation. It was great. And I started learning and I built a relationship with him. And I said, I want to learn more about these. This is the next product line. Let me hear what's going on. And I started learning about it from him, from the developer side. Well, as I was out with him on a lot of these appointments and stuff, he would ask me questions. And there's this major frustration between developers and realtors. Realtors think that developers are all idiots and don't understand and don't know what they're doing. And developers think realtors are all idiots.
And don't understand. Right.
But as I'm sitting in these meetings, it hit me. And I said, and many, many times they would ask me and I'd say, well, actually what he's trying to say is da 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 da.
Yeah.
And I'd be able to translate what the realtor was saying. Well, after time, I picked up what the developer was saying and repeated it back. And through that, I realized it's a miscommunication. It's an entirely different language. So what a resort residence is if you're looking at a resort, so the resort overlay, right, on your plans and everything, it has residences that people like you and I can purchase, but they're run by the hotel. However, we own them. So with your timeshares, you only own a portion of it. You own a fraction of the time, right? With your vacation rentals, you own all of it, but you also own all the responsibility of getting it filled and maintaining it.
Okay.
So these, we own it. We get all the tax benefits. We get all those things that we like from vacation rentals and have for a long time. We get to come and go as we please. We get to be in the area that we want to be, and we get income off of it when we're not there. Right?
Yeah.
However, the downside to vacation rentals is that once I'm there, once someone is there, if they take their pickleball paddle and throw it through the big screen TV, guess who pays for it? The owner.
The owner.
Right?
Yeah.
And guess who has to take off time and go get it fixed? The owner.
The owner.
Well, in a resort residence, it's actually handled by the operator of the hotel.
Okay.
So cost and time. I don't have to do any of that. So they do, when they do their revenues, they break it out a little bit different. But John, when you start putting them side by side, you make more money, because another downside to the vacation rentals, remember the decline, was that if you and I own vacation rentals in the same area and we're not getting it filled, the only thing that you and I know to do marketing wise is to lower the price.
Lower the price, yeah.
Right? So it became a race to the bottom for all those owners. And they started just cutting their wages, cutting it. Well, with the operator, they have, me and you, we're going out and we're using VRBO or whatever we can, right?
Right.
They're going out. If you look at like a Marriott, they have over 230 million subscribers to their Bonvoy system. That's who they're marketing to.
Yeah.
We can't compete with that. There is no way, right?
Right.
So now we get to take advantage of that. They're filling them at a higher rate and a higher occupancy than we ever could. So we end up with more money.
True.
So
that's brilliant.
I hope that made it a little easier to see.
That's makes a lot of sense. I mean, it really does, especially with the, having the operator be the one that is in charge of the repair or whatever thing might happen or something like that.
Yeah.
That's really cool. Why did you make the switch into this?
Because I needed it for my own portfolio.
Okay.
Quite honestly.
Yeah. Hey,
Let's be
why not? I mean,
I'd love to say that it's altruistic, something. I wanted better stuff for my clients. I wanted better stuff for my portfolio.
That's awesome.
And I wanted access to it, right? So I started I got to know the developers. So I was listing developments, and that was great. But one of the things I did discover is this: part of the altruism does come out because as great as that is, and knowing the product and having it, you kind of get your hands tied. Like if I'm talking to you as a customer, I feel obligated to tell you about the ones that I'm representing versus everything that's out there. So as a team, we just kind of felt through it and said, yeah, we may be leaving some money on the table, but we'd rather go straight to John and make sure John's getting what he needs.
Right.
Versus making sure the developer gets what they need, which we love developers and we still do listings, but we focus more on the needs of the buyer instead of the other side. And it really has freed up a lot. For me, it's more authentic because of the research, right? It allows me, I don't have to limit my research or skew it any different, or, it is what it is. So I can give a little bit more out there.
I love it. We could keep going for hours, probably. We're running out of time, but I appreciate you sharing this. No, I mean, I really can. I think we could talk for another 2 hours. If there's folks on here that have interest in something like that, maybe want to talk to you more, maybe they're in that area of Utah where they are looking for a realtor, whatever it might be. Yeah. How do they get in touch with you?
Okay. My phone number is 918-924-0055. Call and text. Absolutely. If it's not me, one of my team members will pick up. The other way is Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. So I am on all those. Also LinkedIn under Jessica J. Elgin. So middle initial J. Yeah.
Yeah. And I got the stuff you sent me, so I'll put that in the show notes too.
Perfect. On the Instagram, I actually have one page. It's the Jessica J. Elgin one that is strictly for data geeks. So if you love the data and you want that,
only a data geek will make a link for other data geeks. I love it.
On there, and it's literally video after video of just data. So because that's what I love.
That's so cool. Yeah. Jessica, I really enjoyed this, man. This was really, really fun. Thank you for dropping a lot of good information, guys. If you enjoyed it as much as I did, reach out, man. Talk to her about, this asset class. It's, it's something that, take it from her. She did the research. It's going to get big. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. I know I sure did. And I'll see you on the next one. Cheers.
Thank you.
Thanks for joining us for today's Real Estate Pros Show. You can learn more about the amazing benefits of the Investor Fuel Mastermind community, including surrounding yourself with hundreds of other rock stars, 100% financing for your deals, and members-only discounts from vendors you're likely already using that, as a member of Investor Fuel, will save you more than the cost of your membership. Visit investorfuel.com to learn more. If you're interested in joining us as a guest of this show, please visit investorfuel.com/pros to apply. You can also check the show notes for access to free resources, how to get access to world-class lead generation, and much more. Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss another episode. Have a great day. We'll see you on the next show.